The Lynette Brown Show. This be the Lynette Brown Show.
She's always ready and on time.
The Lynette Brown Show.
When you got something that's on your
The Lynette
mind,
Brown Show.
whatever you got going on, she knows the
The
deal.
Lynette Brown Show.
Where we always keep it real.
Good morning and welcome to the LBS, the hottest, the biggest, the baddest talk show of the South. Woo! I am the Fiery Diva, keeping their waves hot on your favorite station. Thank you guys for joining in with us once again. We've got a nice show lined up for you, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Mr. Charlie Holly that came to visit us today, and we're going to be talking about his book, Saving America. And we're going to actually touch on a chapter that he has in the book addressing racism. Yep, we're going to go there. We're going to take it there today, ladies and gentlemen, but we can't take it anywhere until we take this quick commercial break. We'll be back right after these messages.
This portion of the show is brought to you in part by Saving America from Political Suicide by Charlie Holly. In order to obtain a copy of this book, you can go to www.savingamericabook.com. Again, that is www.savingamericabook.com.
Good morning and welcome back to the LBS, the hottest, the biggest, the baddest talk show of the South. I am the Fiery Diva, keeping the airwaves hot on your favorite station. You've got many options, but you decided to come here today, ladies and gentlemen. I do appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about a very sensitive topic today, and I understand if you feel like you might need to turn the channel and not tune into the Diva today, because we are really going to be hitting some hot points. And it's going to be some things that some people may not agree with, with the Diva, but that is, that makes us human. Okay, let's agree to disagree. Okay, but we don't talk about racism enough in this country. We do not. And that's the problem. We have one side saying, hey, it's not that bad. And then you've got the other side saying, hey, yes, it is. So, Mr. Charlie Holly, we're going to talk today a little bit about racism. Mr. Holly, thank you so much for coming up and being a part of the LBS today.
Thank you.
Let's just talk a little bit about Saving America, this book that you have here. And you're addressing the book, The Roots of Racism. Okay, what inspired you to want to touch on racism, which I think is very obvious? You're born and raised here in Alabama,
right.
So you've definitely been exposed to
Definitely.
it. Okay,
No
but
doubt
I just
about
want to talk to you a little bit about it.
Because it is a hot topic that most people don't want to talk about because they feel as if we do get into it, that both sides will get worse and worse. But if we're going to progress and get better regarding race, we have to be open books. We have to talk, we have to share, and that's what I do by pointing out 4 roots of racism. And I also make a very controversial point in the book, because I say that not only white people can have racist views, but black people can as well. Now, some people may not, agree with that.
Right.
But I actually make my point about that. So yes.
Okay. Well, and sir, I have to play devil's advocate.
Sure.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know the Diva. You know how the Diva get down. You were saying that you have black racists.
Racism is a state of mind. It is a state of mind that basically says my race is better than your race. Okay, and some people who have this mindset also are rich. They have money, they have fame, they have power, so they can use their riches, their fame, their money, and their power to keep people that they don't like from getting the things that they really do need.
Okay, that is the point that I was going to make, because my definition of racist or racism was I always equated that with power. That was my way. I've always felt as though, and this is just my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, I never really felt like black people could be racist. I think black people can be prejudiced. Like people are prejudiced against people that have a weight issue. It's so many things that, people can be prejudiced about. And I've always felt that way. I always felt like that racism was a powerful thing. Well, black people, we don't have any power. We don't have the power to keep anybody out of a job. We don't have the power to lock people up and throw away the key and beat them and get away with it. You know,
Right,
so
right,
that was
right.
that was how
Sure.
I kind of equated
Sure.
racism.
Sure.
And the thing of it is, Mr. Holly, but what bothers me is we pretend, or you know, to some degree, you know, some people, honest to God, are not aware.
Right. Right.
Some people really think that everything is okay.
Sure.
We've got a black president.
Right. Right.
What could be your problem?
Right.
What more could you ask for?
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah.
And there's one powerful word that I talk about, and that word is perception. Perception. How do we perceive the way people treat us? Because sometimes people treat us bad not because they're racist. Sometimes people treat us bad because they're just bad folks. You know, sometimes, you know, they are mean, they don't really think. And so I have had several things that happen to me, you know, where I could have said that that person is a racist. But once I thought about it, you know, more, and more, I realized that, you know, that person did not handle this situation right, not because they're racist, simply because they're just a bad person. They just don't know how to handle it. And
Right.
And so the point that I make is that every bad thing that happens to us as black people is not because of racism. Somebody still is.
Yeah.
You know, somebody still
We
is
will
now.
throw that race card.
Right. Right.
We'll throw that race card. Oh,
Right.
well, they are racist. They are prejudiced.
Exactly. And we need to be
Yeah.
very, very careful of that.
That's right.
Because, you know, like I said, sometimes people are just mean. You know.
And you have to look at it that way.
Exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those who have just tuned in, you're tuning in to the LBS, the hottest, the biggest, the baddest talk show of the South. We are talking to Mr. Charlie Holly today. And we're just brushing up on racism. And I know you guys probably hear the noise in the back. Yeah, they're doing a little construction outside the building today. And I want to apologize for the technical difficulties that we had for the last 2 weeks. Got new equipment in and just trying to get it to communicate with what we have now, and sometimes, you know, things are not compatible with other things, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what was going on last week. So hopefully you won't have that to deal with. But we're going to go into a quick commercial break. We'll be back right after these messages.
Services will be held for radio pioneer Larry Jones, also known as Funky Larry Jones, at Stronger Hope Missionary Baptist Church at 223 Beasley Road, Jackson, Mississippi. Larry Jones was a loyal employee of Malaco Records and had brought a lot to radio for 40 years. Larry Jones's family sends out all of their thanks for the letters, calls, and concerns. Larry Jones will be greatly missed.
The Lynette Brown Show. This be the Lynette Brown Show.
She's always ready and on time.
The Lynette Brown Show.
When you got something that's on your
The Lynette
mind,
Brown Show.
whatever you got going on, she knows the
The
deal.
Lynette Brown Show.
Well, we always keep it real.
Welcome back to the LBS, the hottest, the biggest, the baddest talk show of the South. I am the Fiery Diva, keeping the airwaves hot on your favorite station. Thank you guys for joining in once again. Want to remind you of the soup kitchen tomorrow. Yes, we have a soup kitchen, and it's going to be at the West Side Community Center, and that is on 125 Earl Street. That is in the Butler Terrace housing project, and that is where we're doing our soup kitchen from 12 until 2. So if you know of anybody that is in need of a plate, send them our way. We will be at the West Side Community Center on Earl Street, right here in Huntsville, Alabama. We do have that soup kitchen. Want to remind you of LBS Gospel. Thank you guys for all the responses. Thank you. And that comes on. That'll be on tomorrow at 6 a.m. on this network, okay? But thank you so much for tuning in. And Mr. Holly, let's just get down with the get down,
Sure,
okay?
sure.
I want to address the chapter where you were talking about when you were applying for a job in college. And the amazing thing that you did was letting this woman know that you could do math.
Sure.
Brilliant! That is brilliant.
It was a simple job, shelving books. And the question was, which number comes first? And so I had to go down this list of numbers and basically pick out which numbers were biggest, which number was smallest, because we had to shelve books. Very simple middle school math. I did it, turned my paper back in, and this elderly white woman looked over my answers, and she was just so shocked that I had answered all of those very simple questions correctly. And she just kept saying, wow, you did it, wow, you did it. And all the time I'm thinking in my mind, why are you so surprised that I can do something that's so simple? Now, I asked myself then, is this lady racist? Is she just not used to seeing a black person answer all questions correctly? So what am I supposed to take away from that?
Okay, well, you know what? And I'm going to share an experience with you. And I was just, at a department store, and when you see me, in my keys, I have a lot of keys, okay? But I have different businesses and stuff like that. So I have a lot of keys. And the lady, I laid my keys on the countertop, and I mean, this is 2014, okay? This is not anything that happened, years ago. This is recently. And she asked me, she said, wow, you have a lot of keys. Do you clean houses?
Oh, wow.
Really?
Wow.
See, that's the kind of stuff, and what messes up a lot of black people is our emotions.
Yeah.
That's our emotions get away from it. But I was
Exactly.
polite. I said, oh no ma'am, I have my own business. And so, this is my business keys, and I have, several vehicles.
That
But I explained to her.
Yes, that is a great point, because I point out in the book, how do you combat racism? How do you fight somebody's mental view of you that is so down here? When you know that you're really up here. And that's one key critical question. And my answer is simply this: prove them wrong by doing your best.
Well, something, Mr. Holly, and this is just keeping it real. Okay, but racial tensions, I had a family member to tell me that racial tensions are higher now than all the years that they've worked on this particular job. Because, a lot of people, they don't want to say it, they don't want to admit it, but when Obama got into office, when President Obama got into office, that's when the racial tension really rose. And that is the truth.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will not admit it, but that is, and she was saying that, people are combating, people that have been buddies and friends
Right.
for years. But now, since, the politics has played such a big role in everybody's lives,
Yes.
and we've got the black president, sir, it has really gotten
Absolutely.
bad.
Absolutely. One of the things that I point out about the roots is one word: fear. I use that word, fear. You have to understand that this country has been ruled and controlled for hundreds of years
That's right.
by white males. Okay, and there are a whole lot, not all, but there are a whole lot of white males out there who feel as if they are losing control of this country simply because there are so many minorities who are making progress, who are getting into office, who are getting into places like the presidency, and so forth. And so they feel as if they are losing control, and that's really fear right there. That is genuine fear.
Yeah, because
you can't really say this is our house, because this is everyone's house. Anybody can actually found a nation, but it takes all of us to actually build a nation. And so there were blacks, Hispanic, women, all of us contributed to building this nation. So it's not just a white man's nation. It's really not. It's really not. This is a melting pot. But there are some people out there, just like I said, there are some people out there who feel as if this is our nation, we run it, we rule, and you can't have that type of power.
ladies and gentlemen, those who have just tuned in, you're tuning into the LBS, the hottest, the biggest, the baddest talk show of the South. We are touching on racism today, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to hear your responses. I want to hear what you think. We all have an opinion. And my number is on the screen, but we're talking with Mr. Charlie Holly today. We're going to go into a quick commercial break. Don't leave us. We'll be back right
This
this
portion of the show is brought to you in part by Saving America from Political Suicide by Charlie Holly. In order to obtain a copy of this book, you can go to www.savingamericabook.com. Again, that is www.savingamericabook.com.
Hi, welcome to Bad News Barbecue. You need to come down here. The ribs are succulent and tasty and juicy. The pork is off the chain. The turkey is spicy. You will love it. We'll see you soon.
I'm Priscilla Kelly, and I'm the manager here at Bad News Barbecue. Not only do we have great food, but we also help different organizations with their fundraising events. We also do catering for different family reunions and also business organizations. So please come on out and let us help you with your church, your school, or local nonprofit organization, and we'll also cater your family
What do we have
events.
going on here?
I just got through cutting up some ribs that I prepared for my customers. I marinated them overnight and smoked them for about 4.5 to 5 hours.
Well, Chris, now you do fundraisers as well, right?
Yes, ma'am. We have a little program that we use that will guarantee the help whatever your organization is to earn money for you, and we also make money doing so. And it's a cost share program, but it don't cost the organization anything to do.
Okay, you work with churches, schools.
Yes, ma'am. We've done a couple of churches, and we have done a couple of events for some schools, and we're going to reach out to more people because it's a very simple program, and it can help you earn money.
Okay, and tell us where you can be reached.
I can be reached by 256-653-6893, and I'm located off of Oakwood Avenue on Gray Street. 1217 is the address.
It really doesn't get any better than that, ladies and gentlemen. We're at Bad News Barbecue, where actually the sauce is not needed. They're cooked to perfection. Enjoy them a lot. You should come down and see them at 1217 Gray Street off of Oakwood Avenue.
This portion of the show is brought to you in part by Melonhead Fabrications. We specialize in all of your welding and fabrication needs. We build race cars, we build grills, anything dealing with metal, we can build it for you. Give us a call, 256-585-1756. Again, that number is 256-585-1756. That's Melonhead Fabrications, located at 2908 Pike Avenue, Huntsville, Alabama, right off of Sparkman Drive. Give Derek Jamar a call, 256-585-1756 or 256-682-4512. Melonhead Fabrications, where we're making all of your dreams come true. Here's a sneak peek on what's to come on the LBS. Next week, Triana's Strip Club Aftermath.
We have developed our industrial park.
Against it.
And what do you see the downsides of that having a strip club here in Triana?
A lot of people have done studies about it, and they said that it would really, like in a 5-mile area, that it would become a disease and shut a lot of things down. And morally, it's wrong. And plus, you got to think about property values.
So now they see the land we got down here. Now they want to take it away from them. They're just like the white man and the Indian.
Go to the back of the bus.
Rose Parks. You might as well say it. We don't want it down here. At the end of the day, because you got more stuff going on down here, period, than just a strip.
Welcome back to the LBS, the hottest, the biggest, the baddest talk show of the South. I am the Fire Diva, keeping the airwaves hot on your favorite station. Time winding down just a little bit, but not quite yet. We are talking about racism today, and our guest is Mr. Charlie Holly, and we're just brushing on it, ladies and gentlemen. But before we do all of that, I want to remind you of Soup Kitchen tomorrow. That is happening from 12 until 2. We will be at the West Side Community Center on Earl Street tomorrow. That is right there in the Butler Terrace housing project area. So if you know of anybody that needs a plate, just feel free to give me a call and just send them our way, okay? Elderly, kids, disabled, send them our way, okay? And also want to remind you of LBS Gospel that's going to come on first thing Saturday morning. And I think you guys will really enjoy this show. Want to wish all the mothers happy Mother's Day, especially to my mommy. Hey, happy Mother's Day to your mommy. Love you whole bunch, Miss Burton. But anyway, had to plug that. Alrighty. Okay, now back on a serious note. You know, black people, we get our emotions tied up. We stereotype.
Stereotype.
Woo! Sir, that right there.
That is something that I talk about in the actual book, and I talk about the fact that every race has a stereotype that they have to deal with. Okay, blacks are stereotyped with being lazy, cheating the government, you know, not wanting to work. Okay, and you know, we are actually stereotyped that way. You know, ignorant. You know, whites are also stereotyped because you know they are stereotyped with being folks who are racist. Who, you know, folks who you know talk about Christianity, but who don't really live it out. You see, and so with all these stereotypes that we have, how do we deal with this stuff when we run across people who think that they know us simply because of our skin color?
Right, and I'll address that. You know, lazy. You know, lazy, just hanging out on the block. Black guys are lazy, but let's be mindful. You know, lazy. I mean, this country was built for free from black people.
Labor, hard labor.
Right,
Hard
for
labor.
free. You know, so, you know, I don't know where the laziness is coming in at because, I mean, we were, you know, behind a mule.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
before the tractor, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I don't know where the laziness is coming in at because a lot of people are dealing with a lot of racial tension.
There have been credible tests and studies done that show that racism in this country starts at a very early age. We're talking about, you know, 4, 5, 6, you know, as it, you know, relates to how white children see black children, because they see them a little bit different. And, you know, but what's even more, you know, disturbing about it is that the study was also done concerning how young black children see themselves.
That's right.
Because most of them saw themselves in a negative light compared to the little white children. They thought that they weren't as good, did not measure up, or maybe wasn't as smart as the little white children.
Well, you know what, and I'll bring this. Let's talk a little bit about education because I had somebody to bring this to my attention about education. They were saying that you know, when it comes to discipline, black child can do something, and everything has got to be is strictly by the book. We've got to go to the board. Now something it can be handled. It can be handled right at the principal's office. You know, it didn't pull a knife or gun or anything like that. Could be handled right there in the principal's office. But everything is protocol and procedures. We've got to go to the board. The board has got to handle this. But white child get in trouble. Got a long list. But they will never have to go before the board. Now, I've had people to tell me that, you know, in the school systems, you know, so, I mean, and you guys can reply and respond, I mean, but we need to talk about this, you know, because we can't just act like, well, whoo, I don't want to offend, whoo, you know, better not say that. No, it's time to start talking about it.
Yes, yes. This thing, this new, you know, relatively new thing that they have in our school system is called zero tolerance, okay? And basically what that means is that anytime a child does something, fuss or fight or argue, that they get the maximum punishment. You know, but that's not helping that child. You know, what really needs to be done is that child needs to be cared to. Somebody needs to figure out what's going on in this child's life that's causing this child to behave like this.
You're saying something now. You're saying something because, okay, the young man that was planning the plot of, like Columbine, okay,
Yeah.
You know, now, of course, we got the excuses. The excuses. And so that's one thing that I've witnessed. You know, you've got excuses. Well, didn't grow up in a good home. You know, it's, you know, just going through, just had problems. Or he's a good kid, you know, problems. But you got, you know, little Tay-Tay and Ray, you know, he tries to do the same thing. Lock him up. Lock him up. And that is the truth. Not fair. So would we say that that was being a racist?
Yeah, it's
to the highest degree. That's white supremacy, but nobody wants to talk about it. We got excuses for that, you know, we don't want this boy's life to be affected, but we don't care about the black boy and what he went through and what he has gone through. That is the truth.
Mercy. You know, we have
Preach, y'all.
to we have to know that that we are that we are culturally different.
That's
Okay?
right.
You know,
And accepting culture.
Yes. You know that white children handle their problems in a different way than black children do because their culture is different.
It's different.
Yeah.
You got to learn that.
It's different. And so, you know, when both kids act up, both of them need to be helped, you know, not necessarily, bam, punished, you know. So it just so happens that you know, that in school systems, you know, most people who are punished are black children because they're having problems handling their lives. Some of them have rough lives, some of them have issues at home, and so they act it out. You know,
but that's no excuse.
Right.
And that's what gets me.
Exactly.
You know, and I've got to brush on education because, I mean, in this business, I have people that come and they talk to me. This show is actually long overdue. It's long overdue. I should have done it a long time ago, and I guess the NBA owner, that was a good thing. A good thing did come out of it because we need to address it on a local level. I mean, we can sit and we can watch all the national syndicated programs and let them talk about it, but no, this is right here at our front door.
We react, our black children react in a totally different way. That school systems, I think, school people, principals, and so forth, have more of a tendency to be afraid, you know, because, you know, our children do act out in a certain way. But they shouldn't be feared. You know, they need to be taught.
They're still a child. That are educators, and they're coming back and they're telling me about what they witness, and you know, as far as the schools and things like that. So racism is all around, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be so green and naive to think that it's not.
Oh yeah.
So much for tuning into the LBS, the hottest, the biggest, the baddest talk show of the South. Want to remind you to, of course, tune in to LBS Gospel tomorrow morning. If you got any church announcements, please give me a 2-week notice, okay? And also, the Soup Kitchen tomorrow is going to be happening at Westside Community Center. That is on Earl Street, right here in Huntsville, Alabama. That's going to be from 12 until 2. Send your loved ones if they need a plate. We've got them there. Want to encourage you guys to go and get Mr. Holly's book. Mr. Holly, tell us how they can get Saving America, okay, from political suicide.
Yes, they can go to www.savingamericabook.com, www.savingamericabook.com, and you have all the links on there.
And he's talking about the very things that we addressed, and I think that this would be a book that you need to get, especially, you know, people, you know, we have a lot of biracial children now,
yes.
You know, so, you know, they need to know whether you like it or not. I mean, they've got two sides, you know, so you need to know how to, you know, talk with them and help them to understand. But ladies and gentlemen, I've got to go. This is my time. I do have a Olive Garden card, $30. This is for Florence only, Florence, Alabama only. Text me right now, 256-566-5854. Diva, I want it. And if you got some issues you want to talk about racism and what you've experienced being a white person or a black person or a Hispanic person, tell me, because this guy is coming back and we'll address it, okay, right here on the LBS. Also have another Olive Garden card, and that's for anywhere, 256-566-5854. Okay, that's Olive Garden anywhere right here in Alabama. All right, but this is my time. I do appreciate yours. Thank you so much for tuning into the LBS, the hottest, the biggest, the baddest talk show of the South.